Somewhat surprising, Joey Bosa is headed to the Buffalo Bills instead of the San Francisco 49ers to play with his brother Nick Bosa. I guess it all came down to money, and I guess that's all he cared about, because if he really wanted to play with his brother, he would have played with his brother right now, and he would have signed with the Niners. Apparently, this was the richest contract he was offered, which makes a lot of sense. It was first reported that the Dolphins and the Niners were offering him around 8 million, and apparently the Bills stepped in at the last moment and offered him a $12.6 million contract. 12 mil is guaranteed, and it can reach up to 15.6 mil with incentives. So, money talks, man. Money talks indeed. I would have liked to see him in San Francisco. I feel like that would have been a lot better of a fit. Not saying that he can't be successful in Buffalo. He could be. He very well could be. It's just an injury-prone player, extremely injury-prone player, to play in pretty harsh environments come November, December, and onward. I don't think that's the best move. I mean, just think about it. Playing in the cold is pretty difficult, man. It's pretty difficult, and it's pretty hard on the body, and there's a lot of tread on Joey Bosa's body, so I don't think him and the cold are going to get along too well. Who knows, maybe a miracle can happen and he could stay healthy for the entirety of the 2025 season and hit all his incentives, whatnot, and help the Bills maybe reach the Super Bowl. But I mean, come on, it's basic anatomy. I don't really foresee that happening, but you let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think he's going to play for a full year? Do you think he's going to be productive? And hypothetically, if he is healthy, for sure, it's a great signing for Buffalo, absolutely. Joey Bosa would have been very helpful if he played against the Chiefs in this past AFC Championship game. Adding another elite pass rusher or two, like I said, is never a bad thing and always has the ability to change a game. We saw it in this past Super Bowl on just how important that interior line is. So fair play to Buffalo, but at the same time, it's kind of like a questionable signing, just because I feel like they already did this song and dance before with Von Miller, signing an older player to a rich contract. And granted, it's only a 1 year, $12 million contract, but still. But just take a look at what happened to Von Miller. They signed him to a ridiculous contract. Was he really worth that contract? I'd say no, and I think most Bills fans would agree with me. Yeah, he looked pretty good in certain spots a year ago, but besides the 2024 season, I feel like he was very underwhelming with Buffalo. And I know it's a 1 year contract, but still, I just feel like we're kind of seeing a trend here with Brandon Beane signing over-the-hill pass rushers. I don't know, I don't really like that. Apparently, Micah Parsons is on the trade block, so I don't know if Brandon Beane checked in on his availability and what Jerry Jones and company are actually asking for return for Micah Parsons. But if the Bills are really trying to find a premier pass rusher, I really think you should just go for it. Offer the Cowboys a first-round draft pick and a player and just acquire Micah Parsons. You're in your Super Bowl window. You got to go all in. You got to go for it. You have to take advantage of Josh Allen's prime. You never know what the future is going to hold. We've seen amazing QBs break down over the years. Shout out to Cam Newton. The dude was Superman, like Josh Allen. Josh Allen was Superman a year ago, and then Cam Newton quickly fell apart, and he was never the same after that MVP year. For Josh Allen, he's in his prime right now. He's on top of the world, got married to Haley Steinfeld, MVP, almost made it to the Super Bowl, but we don't know what 2025 is going to hold. We're not sure what he's going to be like in 2026. He could suffer a crazy injury and he could slowly start to fall apart. You never know. It's very, very possible, especially with the way he plays to a certain extent. So Yeah, man, if I'm Brandon Bean, I think you got to be a little more aggressive than this. I just don't think that's a recipe for success to rely on these past their prime pass rushers and to think that, oh, yeah, these guys are going to take us to the Super Bowl. I don't really see that happening. And if it's not Micah Parsons, check in somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, why not sign Chase Young over Joey Bosa? Chase Young is a lot younger. Sure, Chase Young has some question marks, absolutely, about his personality and his potential and whatnot, but I just think he's a better pass rusher at this point than Joey Bosa. But yeah, man, you let me know what you think about this move. Will it work out? Will it not work out? Let me know in the comments below. Now, as far as the Bills go and the landscape of the AFC East, the Patriots have been super active this period, and I'm really curious to see what they have to offer in the 2025 season. I'm curious how good you think the Patriots will be in year one. Now, I just want to remind everyone that Mike Vrabel is an elite head coach. What he did with those Tennessee rosters was truly such an impressive feat, and I feel like this New England roster is maybe better than any Tennessee roster he's ever had. I just want you to keep that in mind going into this season. I'm not saying this team is going to be, a 10, 11 win team, but I totally expect them to be in that playoff bubble and compete for a playoff spot, if not make the playoffs. I know that might sound a bit too premature or a bit too optimistic, but when you have an elite head coach and a pretty good young quarterback, I was impressed with Drake May a year ago, man, and I feel like a lot of other people were too. Like he had absolutely no wide receivers a year ago, and he looked pretty good most games. And of course, the Patriots still have to get a number one for him, but I think they'll find that at some point in this draft. So as far as the AFC East goes, I really think the Bills' only competition is the New England Patriots. I don't think the Jets are going to be all too competitive in year one with Aaron Glenn, and the Dolphins, I just don't really believe in Tua and him staying healthy for a whole season. But odds are the Bills will probably be AFC East champs yet again. Bills also re-signed Damar Hamlin, and they signed Joshua Palmer, who's a pretty nifty wide receiver. I like it. The only thing about that is they already have a small receiver in Shakir. So to add another smaller guy, I don't know. But still, I still think he's a good weapon for Josh Allen. And there are reports that Von Miller might come back as well. So if you sign Von Miller back, if you have Joey Bosa, if hypothetically they're both healthy come January, I don't know, man. Maybe it could push the Bills to the Super Bowl, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. Let me know what you think about the signing down below, and how good do you think the Bills will be in 2025. Let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, please subscribe, like the vid, it'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Second down following that incompletion. Drop back, shotgun formation. And it's on target to Stevie Johnson. Third catch today so far.
Johnson's one of the best receivers in the NFL. He can run all the routes. How about this out route that time? Does it with such grace and ease and makes the catch just short of the first down.